Hello. Okay. So hey everyone, I am Harshal Jain and welcome back to Geeks for Geeks. So today we're gonna continue with our application. So in the last video we have actually covered this page, right? So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish our front end part. So if I click here, I'm gonna redirect to this page. Okay, so I have created this page. I've just used some date component. So it would be selecting some date, whatever date you wanna select. And right now I've just pasted the component. Okay, then you can see I have some seeds for that specific date. Okay, so if I select this, I have some specific screens on some specific malls, okay, on that date, and after that you can see after selecting that you would definitely see this kind of UI. So this is a like, yeah, you can see that it's for seats. Okay, so I have just created a very basic layout. Definitely there are different types of layouts in movie theaters, but I have just chosen a very basic layout because that logic would be really big. Okay, we don't have that much time for it, so I've just created a very basic layout. You can see it's like uh 20, and you can see, yeah, 20 seats in a row. It's like that. Okay, 20 seats in a row, I've assumed like this. Okay, so we're gonna create this, and you can see right now, suppose if I select 4 5 6, so you can see that the total is 1500. If I select this, you can see 1650. Okay, so you can see total is also working fine. And suppose if I change the time, you can see again everything wipes out, so you have to select again. And suppose I selected this, so if I click on continue, it would take me to the next page. Okay, so we have to build these two pages today. After that we are going to work on the login part. So if I click on logout, you can see this is first of all the login page. Okay, very basic login page. You can change the image later on, but this is a very basic login page. Right now if I click on register, you can see this is the register page. Okay, very basic register page, very basic login page. Now if you log in or register, after that you would be taken to the home page, right? You would be taken to the home page. So if I go to home page, it would be like this. Now after that, one more thing, if I click on the city, you can see I get a pop-up. So we're gonna create this very simple pop-up, and whatever city you're gonna select, after that you're gonna click on save, and later on we are gonna save that city to our local storage so that it's shown here. Okay, right, it's like this. Okay, so that's all we are gonna do today. So let's start with the first thing, that is this route. So first of all, let me tell you where is exactly the source code available. So you can simply type github.com/viraj014. Okay, so actually I typed the wrong URL, but anyways you can find me here also, but I'm gonna type completely. Okay, so github.com/viraj014. Okay, so it's gonna take you to this page, and this is my GitHub profile. Guys, you can follow me here, and these are also my social handles. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me here also. Okay, so you can message me on Instagram or LinkedIn. Right, so let's continue with the repositories, and here you would find that we have movie booking 3x. Okay, so this is the front end part which you can use for reference. Okay, so I'm gonna upload today's code also, but yesterday's code is available here. And if you want to see yesterday's code, what you can do is you can simply visit Geeks for Geeks development channel. There you would find the complete source code, right? So now let's continue. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with yesterday's part. So I'm just gonna open that complete part. Okay, just a minute. Right, guys, so this was our folder. So I'm just opening movie project, movie booking, and this was the front end, right? So let's start the front end part, and it looks like this. And it looks like this. Okay, right. So if I go to SRC and inside app, you can see this was the folder in which we were working on. This was the movie name folder. Inside this, we created some files. Okay, so we're gonna continue with this. We're gonna continue with this, and I'm gonna say that inside this, we have a folder named as buy tickets. Buy tickets. Okay, and inside buy tickets, I have another folder which would actually be some dynamic folder, and I'm just gonna say that screens, okay, or screen. Okay, screen would be better. Hi Sagar, how are you? So yeah, we have created this. Now inside this, I'm just gonna create a very basic file. So let's name it as page.tsx. Okay, page.tsx. And inside page.tsx, I'm just gonna create a very basic structure. So let's say its name is buy tickets page or some. I'll just name it as RAFCE. Okay. So RAFCE, and inside this, first of all, I'm gonna create an array which would actually show me just a minute. Okay, let me just check exactly which route do I have to create. So this was the previous route. If I click on this, it's gonna take me to, yeah, buy tickets page. So it looks like this. Fine. So guys, here what you have to do is simply, okay, so first of all, I'm gonna go to buy tickets folder, not inside the screen folder. So I'm just gonna delete the screen folder first of all. Okay, now inside the buy tickets folder, let's create a file. Let's create a very basic file. I'm just going to name it as page.tsx. Okay, so page.tsx, and inside this I'm just going to create what kind of page? This kind of page. Okay, so whenever you click on the book now button, if I go back, if whenever you click on book tickets button, you are taken to this page and you can see this is the route. Okay, so we're going to create this page. So simply you have to type here, I'm just going to say RAFCE. Okay, and RFC. After that, I'm just gonna say that here are all the imports which we are gonna use. One important thing is React horizontal date picker. I don't know why it's showing me error, so but still it works fine. But yeah, I get a error line here, so you can ignore this. This is just a warning. But yeah, I have to install this. Okay, so you can simply type, copy this, go to terminal, and here you can simply type npm I react horizontal date picker. Okay, that's it. So it would be installed. And one more thing, here you can see I have a css file, so I have to create a css file. So here itself I'm gonna create a css file, and it's created, right? So both of these are now available, and rest everything is by default available. Okay, so we have imported the imports. Now I'm gonna say that I must be redirected to this page. I'm just gonna name it as buy tickets page. Okay, and now let's start this code first of all. So I'm just gonna type npm run dev. Okay, right, so let's start this, and now we'll see how it exactly looks. So I'm just opening yesterday's code now. So again, if I just go back, if I just reload things, so yesterday's good code would be loaded now. So this is for yesterday's code. Now if I click on book tickets, right now nothing is there. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that in which page, by the way, was this. So you can see the book now button is actually, book tickets button is actually here. Okay, so we're gonna target this button, and we're gonna say whenever someone clicks on this button, I will take the user to which page? I will take the user to the, you can see what I actually want is after this path I want to add slash buy tickets. Okay, I want to get this path first of all, so I will get this path by simply using path name property. Let's get the path name property here itself. At the top I'm gonna get the path name property, and I'm gonna use that path name property. So I'll just say that import path name property, and I'm also gonna use the link tag. Okay, so link tag is also there. Now path name would exactly give me the exact path which I am right now, the exact URL of the page which I am at. Now after this path I'm just gonna add slash buy tickets. Okay, so here itself you have this button, right? So you have this button. In this button I'm just gonna say that I have a link tag which would take me to this route, and its class name is link style none. Okay, let me just check where I have kept this CSS. So if I search this link style none, and you can see I've given it here. So I'm just gonna cut it, and I'll actually pass this to where? I'm actually gonna pass it to global CSS so that it's available for every single tag out there. Okay, so now it's fine. So I'm gonna go to buy tickets page now, and what actually must happen is if I click on this button, can see it took me to this page, and this is my buy tickets page. Okay, so the route is set up. Now inside this again, I want one more I have one more route after this, but for now you can see that this is buy tickets page. Now in buy tickets page, I'm just gonna create an object of movie. Okay, just random object. So you can see this was the movie name. This is the actually we don't need this screen. Okay, we are actually looking for screen. So you can see this is the current date, okay, the selected date, and you can see this is language Hindi, and then this is action thriller. Inside this we have number of screens for that movie in that particular city. That's it. Okay, so now we're gonna design it that way. So I'm just gonna say we have two sections, okay, S1 and the second section. Okay, so I'm just gonna say we have the first division, let's name it as S1. So I'm just gonna close this. Inside this, let's say we have a division S1. Okay, and I'll give this class some ID of buy tickets. Okay, fine. Similarly, I'm gonna have another container named as screens. This is for second one. Okay, so just close this. So I have two containers here. Right now in S1, what I want is I just want to show some title and some important things. So I'm just gonna create a division named as head. I'm just gonna say inside this I'm picking movie name from the object. Okay, from the object I'm just picking movie name. Similarly, I'm picking type, and I think I'm also picking the language. You can see. Okay, so these three details are picked from here, and now let's see what actually happens. So if I just reload this, you can see I'm getting the details, right? So this is the first container inside S1. Now let's create another container inside S1. This is my date picker. Okay, so you can actually search about this React horizontal date picker. Let me just take you to the website of it so that you can understand this easily. So you're just gonna use this component as it is. So if I visit this, I checked all of these components, but I found this one was fine, so I just used it. But if you feel that some else component is fine, then definitely you can use that date component. But this looks cool, and I think this fits well. Okay, this is perfect for me, and it shows everything perfectly. So here you can see I have simply imported that. Now if I want to use date picker, I can simply import date picker like this. I can simply use date picker like this. Okay, so first of all I'm just gonna say we have this function. So I'll just create this function somewhere here, right? Just created this function, just pasted this function somewhere here, and here I'm just gonna say we have the date picker tag here. Okay, that's it. Now one more thing which you would need is, right now you can see this val is actually having some error, so you can actually say instead of this you're just gonna say any. Okay, because I'm not really sure it's a string or what type, so I'm just saying that by default it would be any, so that you don't have any error. Okay, so in TypeScript you have to do it this way, right? So that's it. Now you can see everything is fine. You can also give some color, so I'm just gonna give that pink color which I have given as color 1 in my globals. Okay, the same color. Okay, so now it would take me here, and you can see it looks like this. Perfect. Okay, it looks perfect. You can see it looks perfect, right? So I think everything is fine here. Now we're gonna continue with the second section, that is screens. Okay, so inside the screens I'm just gonna map these screens available for that city for that specific date. Okay, right now just pick the actual date. Okay, right now just pick the actual date, but later on you can change the date and different kind of things. Right now just pick the actual date, and this is just some screens, just some random screens. Okay, so we're gonna just map this. Later on this data would be coming from backend, and then we're gonna fix things later on. Right now I just want to show some data. Okay, so I'll just say that my movie array has a movie object has screens array. Okay, so my movie object has screens array. I'm just showing that. Okay, so for closing this, close it, then close it. Okay, I think this is fine. Or okay guys, one more thing, you actually have to close these. Now this is fine. Now this is fine. Okay, so now inside this I'm just gonna say we have a division which would actually show me screens. Okay, so I'm just giving it a class of screen, and inside this I've just given key as index. That means whatever index of the screen is, this is automatically 0th index, first index, like this. Okay, so now we are inside this. Now it would just map all the screens. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that first division inside this would be simply showing the name and location. So let's see. So you can see first division is showing me this. Second would be actually the button. Okay, second would be actually the button. So I'm just gonna say that again, get the path name. I have to get the path name. So I'll just say my path name would be again taken from this use path name from next navigation. Okay, so I'll just say whenever I click on any screen, it would be redirected to some path named as screen name. Okay, that simply means that after this I want to add the screen name also. Okay, after this I want to add some screen name also. Okay, so for that I'm simply gonna say get the path name, get the path name. Once the user clicks this path name, once the user clicks this path name, just add the screen name after it and route to that page. Okay, so I have this select button. Okay, its style is this style. Okay, so I have to check that what style it is exactly. Okay, let me just check where is it. Okay, so theme button one is actually inside this. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut it from here and I'll show it in global CSS. Okay, so that it's available for everyone. Fine. So now what would actually happen is you can see I have the button. If I click on this, you can see it took me to this page. Okay, you can see it took me to this page. Similarly, if I click on some other button, you can see it took me to this page. Okay, so it works perfectly, it works perfectly, but yeah, we have to work on things. Okay, we have to work on the design and we have to work on the design. Okay, so I'll just work on the design of this page. So for that, you can see this is the buy tickets. Inside buy tickets, I created this complete component. You can see this is the complete component, complete page. Inside this I have to give some CSS. Okay, so I have created a file for CSS. Now I have to give some CSS to this. Okay, so for giving it some CSS, I'm just gonna say my head would be actually having this style with the background color of color 2. You can see it looks like this head. Okay, then inside the head I'm just gonna say my head. And one more thing, my buy tickets container, that means the complete page would be having this grayish background, minimum height of 100 and width of 100%. So you can see complete pages of light gray color, right? So after this I'm just gonna say that inside this I have S1. So S1 would be having white color. So you can see this is S1 and it has white color. Okay, so actually I'm talking about this. If I take you to this page, you can see that S1 is actually which page, which component. You can see this is S1, that means the head part, and also the date picker. Okay, so automatically date picker was also grayish color, but now I made it white by simply saying S1 is having white color, head is having the dark blue color. Okay, dark blue color, that's it. Okay, so here you can see that's what I did here. So if I sorry, that's what I did here. Okay, now we're gonna say inside the head we have the h1 and h3 tags. So I'm just gonna style those tags. So I'm just gonna say that h1 and h3 tag would be having some styles. Okay, some font size, some font weight. Similarly, some font size, some font weight, some border. Okay, so you can see this was the h1, this is the h3. Okay, so you can see h1 and h3, right? So now they are styled, the head component is styled. Now let's talk about the screens component. Okay, so let's go to the screens component, and I'm just gonna say screens component first of all would be taking 90% width and then some margin. That means auto simply means it would make things center. Okay, in center, it would be in center from left to right, it would be in center. Then I give it some box shadow, background color white, some padding, some border radius. So you can see it looks like this. Okay, so now inside the screens I have some particular screen component for each screen. That means suppose there are 5 screens, so screen component would be repeated 5 times. So I'm just gonna say each screen component would be again having display flex. That means the screen name as well as the button would be flex, but space between, that means one is in left and one is in right. So you can see left and right. And thing you can see I've simply given it some margin, padding, some border bottom. Okay, that's it. And one more thing, you can see actually the last does not have any border. So I'm just gonna say that the last screen box won't be having any border. So you can see won't be having any border. Okay, it's like this. Now after this, one more thing, the h2 and h3 tags of the buy tickets. Okay, h2 and h3 tags, so you can see everything is fine. Okay, so I've just styled it in this way. So now if I click on, you can see it's taking me to some page. Okay, so now we have to build this page. Okay, this page is actually for selection of my tickets. Okay, right now I've selected, now after that I have to select my tickets. Okay, so for that, inside buy tickets itself, I'm gonna create a folder named as screen. Okay, screen. Okay, screen. Fine. Inside screen, now this might be complicated, this page is very complicated, so please pay attention. So here you can say page.tsx. Okay, so okay, let me just page.tsx. Okay, so here I'm gonna say rafc. Here I'm gonna design it. Okay, design it, but let me first check. So you can see, yeah, this page is now working, page is designed, to design the page, I'm sorry. So now inside this, first of all, first thing was I'll again import the movie array. This data would be coming from some backend, but right now I've just defined it like this. Okay, so that's it. Now after this, what do we need is we have to create some specific array for seats. Okay, for seats. So I've just created a random array. I'll just explain what happens here. Okay, so I've created an array for seats. Okay, actually it's an object, so let me just explain you. It's a very big object, but it's easy to understand. Okay, just a minute. So here what actually happens is, you can see this is my specific screen which I selected. Okay, this is the object. So this has the name, location. Now it has some time slots. There would be time slots of that specific screen's availability. Okay, so you can see first time slot, second time slot, third time slot, fourth time slot. So you can see these are the time slots. Suppose the first time slot is 10 a.m. For 10 a.m. I have my seats. Similarly, for some other time I have some other seats. Okay, that's it. Now in seats you can see I have three options. First option is for platinum. I can select seats in platinum, or I can select seat in gold, or I can select the seat in silver. Okay, so these are the three options. Okay, for that specific time I have three options: either platinum, either gold, either silver. Let's talk about platinum. In platinum what I actually mean is, there can be multiple rows, like this is the first row, second row, third row, right? First row. Okay, so let's talk about first row. So this is the first row, second row, third row. Fine, let's talk about the first row. Now first row would be having a left side and right side. There is some gap in between for walking. Okay, so left side and right side. So that's what I have done. First row, I have named the row as H. Okay, the topmost row is suppose H. Row name is H. Now you can see that it has two columns. Okay, that is for left side, and for right side I assume that there are two columns, left side and right side. Okay, suppose you are in platinum, and left side or right side of the topmost row. Okay, so left side. Okay, so left side you can see we have different seats. So this is the first seat available here. Okay, so you can see this is the first seat available here, then we have second seat, and then we have third seat, fourth seat. It is like this. It's like for the left side of topmost platinum. Okay, this left side of topmost platinum. Similarly, right side of topmost platinum. So you can see it's like this. So I have taken two flags: either seat is available, either seat is not available. Not available simply means it's already booked. Available simply means it's not booked, so I can book it. Okay, that's it. So that's how I created all the arrays. I'll be providing the source code so you can study it more. You can see, you can expand it, and you can just decrease the size later on, but right now this is the array which we are gonna follow. Okay, so I just spent a lot of time for creating this array, so you can just watch it personally. I'll be providing the source code. You can find that array inside this. Okay, so now here I'm gonna say that we are going to have a class name for this page. So I'm just gonna say its class name is select seat page, right? Select seat page. Now again it's gonna have some section one. I'm just gonna say S1 would be having the head, and head would be showing movie name, movie language, movie type. Okay, that's it. Now let's see this. So you can see movie name, movie language, movie type. Okay, that's it. Now we have to talk about the other section, that is S2. Okay, that is the second section for seats, just for showing the seats. So I'm just gonna say that it is inside a division. First of all, okay, it's inside a division. This division would be first of all showing me the time slots, then the seats, then at the bottom I'm gonna show the total button. Okay, total button. So these three things are shown inside this. First of all, I'm gonna say that we have a time container. Okay, so I'm just gonna say we have a division, and let's give it as a class name of time container. Okay, time container, right? So this is for time container. Similarly, I'm gonna create the second one for indicators. That means we have to show the flags. That means light gray means what? Light gray means that the not available. Pure white means available. Pink means already selected. Okay, it's like that. Okay, Mr. X, good evening, sir. How are you, Mr. X? Good evening. Okay, so this is the second component. Now the third component is just one more thing, that is the total container. Okay, these are the three things which we are gonna show. And one more thing is the seat layout. Okay, here I'm gonna show the seat layout. Okay, seat layout. So for that I'm just going to say that for the seat layout I'll create a separate component in this page itself. Okay, so generate seat layout. Okay, seat layout. Inside this we can say that the seat layout would be a simple component. Okay, and it would be returning, for example, it's returning just some blank thing. Okay, right now I'm just assuming that this is my all of my seats in some layout. Okay, and this layout you have to show between this. Okay, so here you're gonna say that we have the seat layout. Okay, so here I'm just gonna say that show my seat layout. Okay, show my seat layout here. Okay, so these are the four things which we are gonna show. Right now our page looks like this, so we have to provide these things. Now let's talk about time container first of all. So it would be showing me all the time slots. So you can see in my screens, you can see this is the first time slot. Then after that we have the second time slot, we have the third time slot, we have the fourth time slot. Okay, so now let's talk about the first time slot, second time slot, and different time slots. So all of these are actually inside what? Inside the time slots array. Okay, so we're gonna map this array. So we're gonna simply say that this time slots array is actually coming from what? Coming from my screens, right? From my screen. So you can see screen.time slots. This is my array, and I mapped each object. So you can see this time slot is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 objects. Okay, so this is mapped and would give 4 different results. Okay, 4 different outputs. So I'll close it now, and yeah, for closing it, close once more and close once more. Fine. So now inside this, I'm just gonna create a layout which actually shows me the time. Okay, so right now I'm just gonna say that we have the h3 tag, and it would be just showing me the time. Okay, so how am I getting the time? By the way, you can see this is my suppose first object. This is my first object. That means suppose I am here. Inside this, I just want to get the time and show inside that h3 tag. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that from the first object, time. Okay, just get the time. Okay, so this is my first object. From this I'm just getting the time key value pair. Okay, so you can see I'm just getting the time here. Fine, that's what I wanted. Now here I'm gonna create a selector for simply selecting the time. Okay, so you can see I've just created a use state, and here I've simply said that my initial 0th index would be my selected time by default. Later on I can change the time, but by default my selected time would be at 0th index. Okay, so you can see this is my selected time. Now come back here, and here you can simply say that suppose whatever time you are at, suppose these are 4 objects. Suppose the first object is selected by default. You can see this is the first object selected by default. Okay, that means 0th index. So I want the selected object to be having some specific design. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that it's having some design first of all. Now here we have two options. If this time slot is selected, if this h3 tag has the time which is already selected, then you're just gonna say that from selected time use state hook, get the time first of all and match it with my object time. Okay, match with my current object. If both of them match, that means this is true. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it's first of all gonna have some time. Okay, hi Winky, how are you? Time is some class which I'm gonna give, and one more class that is selected. Okay, so these are the two classes which I'm gonna design for the selected time. But if the time is not selected, okay, if the time is not selected, then for that you're just gonna say just show time class. Okay, don't add the selected class to it. That's it. Now this is fine, and okay, actually you have to remove this. Okay, so now this is fine. You can simply see that whatever time would be selected would be actually highlighted with some selected class, and if it's not selected, then it won't be, it would be only having the time class. Later on I'll style this, don't worry, but right now I've just said it. Okay, I've just said it. One more thing, whatever time I click on, okay, for example right now the problem is the use client. Okay, I have to give the use client flag at the top. So here you can give the use client flag at the top. Fine. So let's see. So you can see, for example, initially 10 AM is selected. So initially I'll style it in that way that the selected class would be highlighted something like this. Okay, so now for example, if I click on 8:30, I would say if I click on 8:30 would be having the selected class. That means it would be the selected time. Okay, it would be the selected time. So here you can simply say once you click on any h3 which is either selected or not selected. If it's selected, then unselected. If it's not selected, then selected. It's like that. Okay, so you can actually say, okay, anyway, so for this case you're gonna simply say, suppose this is already the selected time. If I even click on this, this would stay selected. But if this was not the selected time, if I click on this, everything would be removed. This would be the selected time. Okay, so only one selected time is possible. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. Here we're gonna say that whenever I click on this, I'm just gonna say that my on click would be called, and it would simply say whatever time I clicked on, I simply say set selected time as this. Okay, and this is something else which we're gonna create, but right now you can assume that set selected time would be the time which I have selected on. Initially this would be the 0th index, later on it would be the any time which I have clicked on. Fine, fine. Now come back, and one more thing, you can actually give the key also, key as index or something else, so that you are mapping, so you don't get any issue. Okay, so key equals index, and index is just randomly you get index in a map, right? So you can see this is it. Now we are gonna style it later on, but yeah, this is the time container. Now similarly we are gonna have an indicator container. Okay, so indicator container would be really simple. I'm just gonna create a few indicators, that means some few flags which would actually show me that, suppose this specific box, I would create a specific box for unavailable, and it simply means, suppose it has color gray color, so it simply means not available. Similarly, I'm gonna have box for seat available, that means white color, so it means available. If I have seat selected, that means if it's selected. Okay, so we're gonna style this also. So this is just for indicators, just for flags at the top which simply show what color means what. Okay, so now we're gonna generate our seat layout. Okay, so let's generate our seat layout. So for generating the seat layout, this would be really complicated. First of all, okay, so please be patient. So now I'm gonna say whatever time I have selected on. Okay, for example, I have selected 10 a.m. at the morning. There might be some seats available, some seats might be empty. Okay, suppose I have selected some other time, suppose 1:30 p.m. So there would be different seats, right? There would be different seats available, different non-book seats, different book seats for different time. Okay, because seats would be different definitely for different time. Okay, availability would be different for different time. So I'm just gonna say generate seat layout according to the selected time. Okay, whatever is the selected time, you can see for each selected time, for each time in a time slot, you can see you have a seats array. Okay, you can see each time slot we have a seats array. I'm just gonna say, if suppose someone has selected 1:30, for example this is 1:30, right? Suppose someone has selected 1:30, so I'm gonna show this layout. Suppose someone has selected 10 a.m., so I would show this layout. That's what I mean. So here I'm just gonna say that in generate seat layout, let's create a variable which would actually give me the index of the selected time layout. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that screen dot time slots dot find that index. Okay, from all time slots find that index which matches with my selected time, that's it. So here I'm just gonna say that find that index, suppose its time is just any. Okay, and here you're gonna say that if that specific index time equals to my hook time. Okay, selected time dot time, then that's my exact index. Okay, then I have got the index, then I'm gonna show that specific index data. Okay, that means suppose this was the index, first index. Okay, that means index value is 1, so I'm gonna say show this data, show seeds from this layout. Okay, that's it. So I have got the index, okay, so initially which index you would see? Initially by default, since the 0th time is selected, so automatically I would get the 0th index. Okay, automatically these seats would be shown. Okay, so it's like this. So now we're gonna show the seats accordingly. So here I'm gonna say whatever screen time slot is selected, just call it so screen. Okay, sorry, so screen dot time slots and find that specific index. From that specific index I want to show the seats. Okay, so I'm just gonna say seats. Sir, I am hosting blog app on cyclic and virtual but facing error, auth fetch error, I'm in problem, please help me, sir. Okay, what's exactly the issue which you see in your console? Like what exactly do you face there?
And one more thing, Cyclic has a log section for backend, so you can also check out the error you are facing there also, because there might be one possibility that your MongoDB might not be connected and you have to provide env variable, like you have to specifically hard code env variable in the Cyclic part. Okay, that means you have to go to Cyclic, and then in the settings of your backend you have to pass your env variables there also. Okay, so please make sure you have passed your env variables there. Then rest everything must be fine. One more thing, just check the MongoDB network access. Okay, that's also very important. And in Varcel, I think Varcel is giving you problem because your backend is not working. So first of all, check the backend. Okay, check the backend properly, and don't run backend directly with the front end. Use like from Cyclic, you would be getting some API, right? So from Cyclic, if you're getting some API, then you would be using that API in some place like Postman or different kind of tools which are not front end, they are just for software based. Okay, that means you can just test your APIs. So first of all, test your APIs from the backend, then jump to front end whenever you are hosting. Okay, so please do that, and please make sure you have passed your env variables, and please make sure you have given permissions from MongoDB to access from anywhere. Okay, that means network access to MongoDB, right? So in seeds, I'm gonna say seeds, I'll have the seeds array. For example, what I mean is, you can see these are the time slots. Suppose by default this 0th would be selected, so this would be the 0th index. I'm simply saying whatever time slot has selected, that object would be called, that object is called. You can see this object is called. Okay, and inside this I have the seeds. Seeds are of three types. You can see platinum, gold, silver. Okay, so I'm just gonna say map the seeds array. Okay, map the seeds array. So just do that. Here you're gonna say seeds array. Okay, that means it would give me platinum, silver, gold. Okay, it would give me this platinum, silver, gold. So map seed type. Okay, and index. Okay, so it would give me the object of seed type. That means either it's platinum or it's silver or it's gold. Okay, so yes, that's it. Now inside this I'm gonna show the division. Okay, so this is the division. Let's give it a class name of seed dash type. Okay, just give this a class name seed type, and also some key as index. Okay, so now inside this I'm just gonna first of all show whatever is the type selected. Let's see first of all, am I getting this or not, and also the price. So you can see guys, at the bottom you can see this is suppose platinum. So you can see platinum would be having some 4 5 rows. Each row, each seat of that row would be having some price. Okay, so you can see price of platinum is 500. Similarly for different, it's different. Okay, so I've simply shown the type, that is platinum 500. Okay, so let's see how it looks. So you can see uh okay, right now I'm not getting this. Why am I not getting this? Because seat layout void is not assignable to. Okay, I think the problem is here, seat layout is not working properly. Okay, so seat layout, and you can see I'm returning it this way. Okay, I'm returning it, since I'm returning it here. So okay guys, so the problem is you have to map it this way. Okay, so the brackets are actually wrong. Just pass the correct brackets. Fine. So now you would see the exact thing. So you can see platinum 500, gold 300, now silver 150. Now inside platinum, that means suppose I'm talking about this object, just this object. So you can see inside this object, inside platinum, I want to first of all call all the rows. Suppose there are 4 rows. Okay, that means platinum has 4 rows, gold has 4 rows, silver has 4 rows. Okay, so first of all I'm gonna call 4 rows of platinum, all the rows of platinum. How can I call that? So inside this I'm gonna map the rows. Okay, so come back here. Here I'm gonna map my rows. Okay, so let's give a division here. Let's give a class name seat dash rows. Okay, seat rows. How to solve auth error, that's what I'm asking. Please give me exact log which you are getting here, and then I would be able to solve things for you. Like for example, you can check the console part of your website, you can tell me what's exactly the error there, or you can tell me go to Cyclic and then go to the log part. Okay, you'll get the log part of the backend, you'll get the issues there. Okay, please tell me the exact error. Okay, or else you can see the YouTube tutorials also. But if you want some help from me, then I won't be hosting it for you. You have to tell me the error for that. Okay, so please tell me the exact error which you are facing there. Okay, I think you have messaged me on Instagram also. I'll look into your message also. I have the notification. And if you haven't, please message me on Instagram. Okay, right. So here you can see we are inside the first object. That means if suppose we are in platinum, inside the platinum I want to target the rows. Okay, so I've simply said inside the seat rows you are going to map the seat. First of all, you are inside seat type. Okay, you can see you are inside seat type. Seat type is what? First object. Okay, first object. Similarly, seed type is what? Second object. Similarly, seed type is what? Third object. Okay, so seed type is, for the first case, seed type is this. Inside seed types I want to map rows, so I'm just gonna say go here, go here, and just say seed type dot rows. Okay, dot rows. And then after this you can say map. Then after this you'll get a specific row. So we have 4 rows. Platinum has 4 rows, so I would be showing 4 rows. Okay, so row index. So please give the index name something else, because there would be confusion between variables else. Okay, so I have given the variables here. Okay, so that's it. So now you're gonna say we have 4 rows. Okay, we have 4 rows. I'm just gonna say show each row. That means each row would be having 20 seats. Similarly, next row would be having 20 seats. Similarly, next row would be having 20 seats. Okay, so that's what we are gonna do. We are just gonna say, suppose we are in the first row of platinum. Okay, first row of platinum. So this is the first row of platinum. Okay, now inside this, I'm just gonna show some, like, I'll just say that row, and let's say for example, I'm just gonna show row name. Okay, row name is what? So you can see this is suppose the first row of platinum. You can see its row name is H. Similarly, G. Similarly, F. So let's see how it looks. So if I scroll this, you can see that platinum has these rows. Okay, so I'm simply getting, actually I have 3 rows. I'm sorry, not 4 rows. So you can see I'm simply getting HGF for platinum. Similarly, gold has EDC. Similarly, silver has AB. So you can see rows are also fine here. Okay, rows are also fine here. Now everything is fine. Now inside the rows we actually have our seats. Okay, so for example, I'm in first row of platinum. You can see in the topmost row of platinum, you can see I'm in H row. Okay, so H row would be having left side as well as the right side. So you can see left side is left column, right side is right column. So in some cinemas there are 3 columns, but I have assumed that we have 2 columns. So 2 columns would be like this, left side and right side. Okay, so this is the first column left side, second column right side. I'm gonna say that inside this rows I'm gonna map these columns. Okay, so now this is getting complicated, so please don't get confused. I would say please write it yourself also. Later on I'll be providing the source code, so you can check the array and then you can compare and then you can rewrite this. Okay, it's pretty much confusing. I built the logic in a really long time. That's why I didn't take any session yesterday. That was the main reason, because I have to create the logic. Okay, so first I created the logic, then we took the session today. Okay, so yeah, here now we have the row. Okay, now we have the row. So I'm just gonna say, first of all, just create a p tag here. It would be showing me the row name. Okay, directly the row name. Okay, that means GHI, JK, whatever it is, whatever letter it is for the row. Now I'm gonna show both my columns. You can have n number of columns in a row. That means left side of the row, left side of platinum, top row, right side of platinum, top row. Okay, I hope everyone has watched the movie. If you haven't, please go and watch a movie so that you'll get more idea about this project. Okay, or else you can refer Book My Show website. You'll get idea of that also. Okay, so here we have the columns. Now inside this, so we know that we have 2 columns here. You can see we have 2 columns here. Okay, we have two columns here, right? So inside this I'm just gonna map my columns. Okay, I'm just gonna map my columns. Okay, so right now you can see I have that specific row. Inside that specific row I have calls array. Okay, so I'm just gonna map that calls array. So here I have given the class as seat calls, and let's map it by simply typing row dot calls dot map, and inside this I'm just gonna say specific column. That means I got the first column and the index of column. Okay, so call index, fine. So I have the column index as well as the column object. Okay, so I have these 2 details. That means right now I am at where? Suppose this is the calls array, so I'm actually inside this. So initially I would be at the 0th index, after that first index. Okay, so now we are at the 0th index. So you can see 0th index has all my seeds for that column. So you can see a specific seed would be actually having, you can see a specific seed would be actually having three things. First of all, it's a type of seed and its status is available, and I have just given it some random ID. Later on you can change the ID, but right now I've just given some random ID, that is 1 2 3 4, like this. Okay, so let's come back here. Now I'm gonna say that we have to show our seeds, right? We have to show our seeds. So I'll just show my seeds first of all. So division, and inside this I'm gonna show a span tag. Let's close it. Okay, so I'll just say that its key is what? Key equals call index, and let's give it a class of seed call. Okay, so now I am at some specific column. Okay, previously we were at some rows, then we mapped our columns. Now I am at some specific column of a row. Okay, so we are at some specific column of a row. Inside this column I have 10 seeds. Okay, inside this column I have 10 seats. Column 1 has 10 seats, column 2 has 10 seats. Okay, it's like this. So you can see, for example, column 1 has 10 seats, column 2 has 10 seats. Okay, so I'm just gonna say 10 seats in column 1, similarly 10 seats in column 2. Okay, now I'm gonna map my seats. So inside column we have our seats array, right? So we have mapped our seats array. I'm just gonna say that this seats array would be simply giving me seat objects. Okay, so right now we are finally gonna show our seats. Okay, so I'll just say that this is the division. Let's close this. Now I'm gonna give some class. So for example, first of all I'm just gonna say that it has some key, and seat index is the key. Okay, seat index is the key. Now inside this I'm just gonna show my seat finally. Okay, I'm just gonna show my seat finally. So we have a span tag here, and it would be just showing me my seat. Okay, so for example I'm just gonna show the seat index starting from 0 plus 1. Okay, that means from 1 to n. Okay, so now we have the seat and everything is fine, but the problem here is we have to close this. Okay, so now we'll see our seats are also shown here. So you can see our seats are also shown here. The h row has, you can see h row has first column, then second column. Okay, so G row also has first column and the second column. Okay, it's like this. So now we're gonna style our seeds also, first of all. So here you can see that the seeds are gonna have some styles. So first of all, seeds can be of three types or two types actually. So first type is if it's available. Okay, so seed dot status is equal to available. If it's available, then show some span tag. Okay, then show some span tag. Else, if it's not available, then show some other span tag. That means this would be the flag for the other case. Okay, I'm just gonna bring it here. So if it's not available, then I'm gonna show other type of design. If it's available, then I'm gonna show one type of design. So let's name the design also. So it would be having some design like class name. I'll just give a class name, seat available. Okay, this would be having class name seat available. Similarly, class name again seat available, but not available. Okay, not available. Fine, so I've given two types of classes to the seats. Okay, now we have everything. We have given all the class names, everything is fine. So now what actually happens here is you have to design it. First of all, I'm gonna design it. Later on I will type the selection part of logic, that means how you're gonna select the seat. Okay, now let's first of all fix this. So for fixing this, let's create the style for it. Here we have to design some style, so I'm just gonna say select seat dot css. Okay, so we're gonna import this style from that page. Okay, right, so select seat css and the next link. Okay, so inside select seat I'm gonna design the page. Okay, I'm gonna write the css of the page one by one, and the css is pretty much long, so I would be copy pasting one, like really fast. Okay, so you can see first of all we have to style the head part. So you can see this is the head part. Now inside the head part we had the S1 head tag and H3. Okay, so these are all the things. So you can see this was the full page, and this is the S1 division. Inside S1 I had the head at H1, head at H2, H3 actually. So you would see that we have this top container done. Okay, now we're gonna talk about our seat. Okay, now we are gonna talk about seat. So I'm just gonna say that seats would be starting from here. First of all, the select seats would be having some background color. Okay, so I've just given it some background color. So you would see that it has background color white and everything is in center. Okay, now here we have first of all indicators. So indicators are actually these three. Okay, these three are indicators. Okay, they also have the span tag, which is right now not visible. So I'm just gonna say my indicators would be in, and there would be some gap. Okay, so I've simply said my indicators would be in a row and there would be some gap, right? So now this we are gonna have the divisions inside indicators, right? We have the divisions inside indicators, so that means division will be having a span tag and text. Okay, so I've simply said the division would be having some span tag and text. So I've simply said they are in a row and there is some gap between the text as well as the span tag. I'm gonna say the span tag of the division having this style. Okay, this tag of the division would be having this style. Okay, so I've simply said that its width is 20 pixel, height is 20 pixel, just a box, just a box. So you can see that if I reload, okay, right now it's not showing me the design because I have to style it separately, but anyways I've simply given it. And let's see, first of all go here and we have the indicators, right? So we have the indicators inside what, inside this we have the indicator. So division and we have span tag. Okay, I don't know why it's not working right now, but anyways we have some separate style for these classes, so we'll do it that way. Okay, anyways I think the span tag does not have any like, if I change the color to, for example, some red color, let's see now what it shows. So I think, okay, anyways we're gonna style it later on. The span tag would be styled later on, we'll see the indicators. But after that we have the p tag. Okay, that means the text. Okay, so I'll just say that the text in select seat, so you can see text is styled this way. Okay, fine. Now after this we're gonna talk about the seat type. Seat type would be platinum, silver, gold text. Okay, so it's seat type. Inside seat type we have simply given it some margin and some background. So you would, one more thing, I think I have to check the classes here. So let's go here in generate seat layout. In generate seat layout I think I have to give the classes. So I've given the class name, but I think, okay, write more css. Okay, I have to write more css here. So let's go back here, and I would say that inside C type we have the h2 tag. Okay, so we have the h2 tag, and you can see the h2 tag is basically platinum, gold and silver. Okay, so I've styled these. Now after styling these we are gonna go inside. We are gonna go inside. So we have the seat row. Okay, we have the seat row. So seat row would be having display flex, everything would be in a row, and align item center, justify quadrant, space between. So you can see what actually happens is seat row would be having first of all the row name and then the columns array. So you can see this is the column map. Okay, I'm sorry, column map. Now we're gonna fix this column map also. Okay, so before that let's fix the p tag. Let's fix the p tag, that is the hij, whatever alphabet we have. So I've simply said inside row whatever alphabet we have, row name we have, I've simply designed it. Okay, so you can see that it has this color. Okay, that it has this color. Now after this let's go to columns. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that the columns would be display flex. That means right now columns are like this. So I've simply said first of all they are flex and they have some space. Okay, and they're taking full space, so you would see it something like this. So you can see this was the first column, this was the second column, but columns are also shown in this way. Okay, so we're gonna show it that way. So I'm just gonna say that the seat column, that is first column, each column would be in display flex. So you can see now each column is in display flex. Okay, so now after this I'm gonna say that we had the seats. Okay, we had the seats. I'm just gonna say that seats would be in display flex. Okay, now inside this we have three things: either seat is available, either seat not available, either seat selected. Okay, these are the three flags which we had. Some I've just styled these, and if I refresh, I think the server stopped. Okay, I have to restart this. Fine, restart. Sometimes it happens in Next.js, like it stops automatically, so you have to restart it. So now you can see that the available seats are actually styled. Available seats are perfectly styled. So you can see available seats are now perfect. Problem here is non-available seats are not styled perfectly. We have to style that, but right now you can see everything is fine. So I think the class name for that. And one more thing, guys, right now you can see that this span tag is causing issues. Okay, we have to fix the span tag also, but right now you can see everything is fine. We have to fix the unavailable class. So here inside this, I have simply said that if seat is available, seat unavailable. Okay, it's actually unavailable. I think now it would work. So you can see now it's working. So unavailable class would be having some stylings. Oh yeah, right now I've just given some styling, that means comma styling to each. Okay, comma styling to each seat. Okay, here you can see that common styling to each seat, each type. Now I'm gonna design them specifically. Okay, so unavailable would be having some color and some gray background color. So you can see unavailable would be having this. Okay, these seats are not available. And one more thing, if I hover on this, if one more thing, that is selected seats would be having this background color. Okay, so selected seats would be having some pinkish background color. Whatever seat you select would be having pinkish background color, and according to that, this pan tag is also styled now. Perfect. Okay, so we have this. Now we're gonna talk about the hover part. So I'm gonna say whatever seat, if it's available, and if I hover on this, that means I'm about to select it. If it's not available, that means I'm not allowed to select it. Okay, so you can see if I am hovering on it, you can see it works fine. If I hover on it, you can see I'm getting the cross. Okay, that means I'm not able to select this, but I can select this. Okay, I can select this, so it works perfectly. Okay, it works perfectly. Now one more thing, after that we are gonna have one more container, that is the total container. Okay, total container. So first let's talk about the select seat logic. Okay, so first let's talk about the select seat logic, and it's very easy. So select seat logic, first of all, you are gonna select any number of seats. Okay, you can select 5 seats, 10 seats, whatever seats you want. So I'm just gonna say we are gonna have an array of selected seats. Okay, array of selected seats, and for that I'm just gonna say whatever seat I click on, whatever seat I clicked on would be added to my selected seats. Okay, whatever seat I clicked on. Okay, so I'm just gonna say whatever seat I clicked on. So first of all I have to check. For example, suppose if I selected 7, suppose if I selected 7 and I want to unselect it, that means if it's already selected, 7, 8, 9 is already selected, I want to unselect 7. So if it's already selected, if I click on this, now it must be unselected. Okay, it must be unselected. So here I'm gonna first of all check if the seat is already selected, that means you are trying to unselect it. Okay, so if I say whatever seat you are clicking on, so first of all I'm checking is selected. How we are gonna check that the seat is selected? Very easy. If that seat would be available in selected seats array, that means it was selected. Now I'm trying to unselect it. Okay, so I'm simply saying is selected, and inside the selected seats array, I'm gonna find that specific index. I'm sorry, I'm gonna find that specific seat. It would simply return me true or false, which matches the seat which I clicked on and sent to as a parameter to this function. Okay, so from this whole array I'm gonna find the specific seat. If both of them match, that means previously I have selected this seat, I want to unselect it now. Okay, so one more thing, I'm just gonna say that first of all the row of the seat must match. Okay, that means, for example, you can see I have two here, 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 I have two here. So you can see each row has two. Okay, each row has two. So I'm gonna say first of all whatever seed I clicked on, this is row number 1, and selected seed would also be having rows. Okay, will also be having rows. So I would just say first of all match the row, match the row. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that first of all the rows must be matching, rows must be matching. Now in the same row you can see that 2 is also here, 2 is also here. So this is a column, this is column 1, this is column 2. That means column also match. Okay, column also match. That means the column must also be some specific column. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that column also match. Then the seat id, then the seat id, because seat id can be same. Okay, seat id can be same. You can see 2 is everywhere, 1 is everywhere, so seat id must also match, column also match, and the row also match, right? So now everything would be fine. So once this is checked, it would tell me seat which I clicked on was already selected or not. If it was already selected, that means is selected is true. That means I want to unselect it. Okay, so I would just say that if it's selected is true, then simply filter out that specific seat which matches with my selected seat. Okay, that simply means. But if I am selecting a non-selected seat, that means if the seat is really fresh and I'm trying to select it, that means is selected, that means that seat wasn't available in the selected array. Okay, previously not available, now I'm trying to select it. So now if I'm trying to select it, I'm going to simply select, add that specific object to my seeds array. Okay, selected seeds array, that's it. So you can see this is fine. Now according to this, I'm going to highlight things out inside my generate seat layout. Okay, inside my generate seat layout. But one more thing, inside generate seat layout, I'm going to say whatever seat I click on, I'm going to send that seat to my function which I created just now. So just go here, and inside this I have this span. So I'm just gonna say that this would be simply saying whatever seat I click on, I'm just gonna send that seat to my function. Okay, I'm trying to select it or unselect it, so I'm just sending the details. Okay, row, column, seat id, price. Okay, that's how the logic works here. Fine, this is for the span tag. Now if I have selected the seat, okay, if I have selected the seat, that means it must be highlighted. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that if the seat is available, if the seat is available, that means this is the case. Inside this, available seats can only be selected or unselected. Okay, so inside this I'm just gonna say that instead of this, I'll check if that seat is not selected, that means it's available. But if that seat is selected, that means it's selected. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that in selected seats array, find this specific seat. If this specific seat is not selected, then seat available design would be shown. But if that selected seat would be selected, then it would be shown as selected seat. Okay, you'll get this logic later on. Okay, you have to look the code once, then you'll find everything. Right now you can just assume I'm just checking if the seat is available and it's also available in selected seats array, then I'm going to show this design. That means I have selected this seat. Second case would be if the seat is available but I have not selected it, though, so this design would be shown. That's what I have told here. Okay, so now let's go back here, and in select seats I have already given the design for seat available, seat unavailable, and seat selected. I've already given the style. So now let's try to check this. So if I click on this, actually I have to refresh this first of all. So if I click on this, so you can see right now select part is actually not working here. Okay, maybe because, let me just print this. Okay, let me just print this. So whenever you are selecting something, you are going to call which function? You're going to call this function. Okay, so I'm just gonna say first of all console.log seat, print that specific seat. Okay, let's see how it works. So if I just inspect console and if I click on this, you can see that the select part is actually not working properly. Why it's not working properly? Let's restart. Okay, let's restart. Sometimes the design doesn't refresh, that's why. Okay, now I think it must work. So if I just refresh, now if I click on this, it's still not working. Select, deselect seat. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this. First of all, let's see if the generate layout is properly working or not. Right, so here we are seeing that if the seat is there, Okay, you have to call the function properly. I think I haven't called the function anywhere. Okay, where have I called the function? I forgot to call the function. I think I called it but missed it anyways. Okay. Okay, guys, by mistaken, I actually provided it inside non-available seat. You can't actually select non-available seats. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Just go to selected seats and here you're gonna paste this. That's it. Okay, so now if I click on this, 3 selected, 4 is selected, 5 is selected, 6 is selected. Everything is fine, but you can see things are not staying selected. If I click on 6, 5, 4, they are not staying selected. So how to make them stay selected? I'll again go back here and I'll check my array. Okay, I'll check my array. So what was the function to select seats? This was the function to select seats. I'm just getting the seat. It's totally fine. Now I'm just gonna say that just show me all the seats available. Okay, I'm just getting all the seats available inside selected seats. Okay, so right now if I just refresh this, you can see one is selected. Okay, you can see one is selected, two is selected, three is selected, three is not selected, four is, five is, six is. Everything is fine, but I'm not able to add things here. Okay, why am I not able to add things here? The problem is I'm not able to add the seat. Okay, fine, I'm not able to add the seat. The problem is I'm just checking that we are first of all checking the row column. Okay, so let's first of all print is selected also. Console.log is selected. Fine. So if I reload this, not selected. Okay, things are not able to be added in the seats array. Okay, the problem is this. Okay, anyways, what we're gonna do is I'll just first of all clear everything out. Okay, I'm just clearing it out first of all. Then let's say that by default, for example, if I select this seat, so I'm printing this seat. Okay, let's reload this. So if I select this seat, you can see it's there. So I'll just copy this object, just copy this object. Suppose if I try to select this, so you can see column 0, column 1, everything is fine. So if I just copy this object, and by default this would be having one object at least. Okay, so you can see by default it's selected. Okay, suppose one more thing, I'm gonna add a seat just after this, that is the sixth seat. So you can see it's already there. Okay, so now everything is fine. Now inside this I am assuming that by default these two seats are selected. First of all, let's see if this is selected logic works or not. So console.log is selected. Okay, so if I click on this, you can see it's selected. Yes, if I click on 4, you can see it's not selected. If I click on 6, it's selected. If I click on 7, not selected. Okay, if I click on 5, it's selected. Okay, so everything is fine. So first of all, I've checked that if both the seats are selected or not. So if the selected, then I would get 0. Okay, so I'm just saying that if selected, then if selected, that means I want to remove. If not selected, that means I want to add. Okay, now let's try to check it. So if I click on this, if I click on this, this logic is working slow actually. If I click on this, okay, if I click on this, actually this logic is working slow. I have to work on this. Okay, I have to fix this function. I'll fix this in next video. But after this, let's do one more thing. We will try to complete the login part also. So for that, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna say that inside app Inside app, let's create a folder for auth. Okay, so inside app, I'll create a folder for auth. Okay, for login part, I'm gonna create a folder, and this would be having a few fields. Okay, so this is going to be similar as our blog application, but anyways, you can pick this from anywhere because sign in login part is very same. Okay, so sign in and sign up. Okay, so sign in part would be having again a page dot tsx, page.tsx. Let's create the sign in page first of all. Right, so let's create the sign in page. Okay, this is for the login part. And the sign in page, I'm gonna say that if you're trying to sign in, this is the function. Okay, sign in function, this is the sign in page. Inside the sign in page, you're gonna have these details. Okay, these are the details, and one more thing is React Toastify. Later on we are gonna use this, so I'll just install it for now itself. Just type npm I React Toastify. Sign in is up to you, you can create any type of sign in page. So I'll just say that I have an interface for form data. Okay, it would be having email and password. I'm gonna say my form data would be storing some, it would be some hook, email and password. I would be creating an array for errors, it would be storing all errors. I'll simply create a function for handle change, that means for each change this would be called, and add details to the form data. Okay, and at the end I'm just gonna call const handle submit. Okay, and it would be first of all taking e as an event. Okay, and first of all I'm gonna say e dot prevent default, that means it would prevent the form to be blank. That's it. And one more thing, if I have any validation errors, I'm gonna show my validation error. I'm simply gonna say that if email is not provided in the form data and if you're trying to submit it, then we'll get an error. If password is not there, we'll get an error. And finally show these errors. Okay, if there are errors, show these errors inside the set errors array, just paste these errors. Okay, that's it. Now we are gonna say that we have everything. We are gonna show this design. Okay, so showing this design is easy. I'm gonna copy this design from where I have already used it inside my previous project, that is block 3x. Okay, so let's go there. So in block 3x frontend, guys, here you have to simply go to src. Inside src we have app, we have pages, we have auth, we have sign in page.tsx. Logic would be exactly same, we have used this logic in previous videos. I'm going to explain the logic later on, but right now this is just the basic layout. Okay, so yes, so we are gonna have this same style, so I'll just copy this, and it would be having some input field and some buttons. Okay, that's it. So just copy this and paste it here, actually paste it here. And one more thing, that is remove the navbar. Okay, just remove the navbar, and you can see this is the left side, this is the right side, and fine. Okay, so what actually has, the left side actually has some image, right side has a form actually has an input for email and input for password, and you can see below each, you can see we have errors. Okay, we have errors. That's it, that's it. And then we, after that we have the login button. After that we have don't have an account, create this. Okay, and one more thing, this is the new route now. Okay, so if I click on this, it would take me to the register page. Okay, so now let's try to see the design here. So if I go to auth, okay, actually sign in. So first of all we have to create a css here, so I'll just create a css named as auth.css. Fine, so right now you can see it looks like this. So we have to create some css for it, so I'm just gonna say my auth css would be taking some css. You can see this is the css. Simply authing would be like this, left side would be taking 40%, right side 60%, then the form would be taking full space, auth link would be taking this much, and the color would be, I can actually say that color 2 would be taken or color 1 would be taken. Okay, actually yeah, color 2 would be taken because that would be some dark color. Okay, then a tag, that is the link tag, that is the register button, register icon, register text actually, and then form container would be containing email label as well as the error. So input, focus on input. If you have any label, you show that label, and then we have the main button, that is the submit button, final submit button. Okay, if I hover on this, color would change and form error. Okay, so actually here you can just say we have the red color. Okay, so you can see it looks like this, and if you try to log in, you can see I'm getting these errors. Okay, similarly we're going to create the register page. So I'll just copy the auth page, and similarly I'll just paste it here, and this time I'm gonna say we have the sign up. Sign up would be having what fields? First of all, it would be having name, email, confirm, password. Okay, now the form data would be having name, email, confirm, password. Now rest everything would be same, it's just that validation errors would change. So I'm gonna say that this would be the case whenever this loads. Just check for email, just check for password, just check for confirm password. Okay, if they match, then everything is fine. If they don't match, just create an error and pass all the errors inside the errors array. Okay, errors array. Now I have all the errors, everything is fine. Now we're gonna show our fields here. Okay, so here in the right side, I'm just gonna say instead of this, we're gonna show some fields like confirm password and things like that. Okay, one more thing, just change it to sign up, and here I'm just saying that my email would be here. You can see that left side already had the image. Okay, we're going to talk about the right side. So right side, you can see that we have the name here. Okay, then we have the email here with the error, then the password here, then the password here, then the confirm password is here. Okay, and then you can see after that at the last we have the register button, then after that we have the auth link for already have an account, and this would take me to the sign in page. Okay, now let's try to run this. So you can see this is sign in page. If I click on this, this would take me to the register page. You can see this is the register page, sign in page, right? Fine, so it looks fine. And now similarly we're gonna do one more thing at the end, that is if I click on this, I want to show some pop-up. Okay, so let's create a pop-up. I'm gonna say that first of all, this pop-up would be actually inside some folder, so I'll just create a specific folder for pop-ups. Okay, so here let's say we have a folder. I'll name it as, actually not inside app, inside src we have popups. Okay, pop-ups. Inside this we'll have the location folder. So location, inside location I'm gonna name this pop-up as location popup.tsx. Okay, and here I'll just say that this pop-up would be having a very simple component. Right now I'm just showing it as a very simple component, RAFCE. Okay, I'm just showing this as a very simple component, and right now what I want is whenever I click this Mumbai or any city mentioned here, that means I want to select some city. If I click on this, I want to show my pop-up. Okay, so where is exactly this text? You can see this is navbar. So what I'm gonna do is just import the pop-up here. So inside navbar I'm going to show my pop-up. So I'll just say, first of all, initially the pop-up would be not visible. So I'm just going to say that initially let's create a hook. It won't be visible. So let's make it false. And now I have to import my pop-up. So I'll just say that if the hook is false, don't show my pop-up, I'll show the pop-up. Okay. And one more thing, I've just sent this hook later on to the next page, so that from there also I can close the pop-up. Okay, so that's what I have sent from here, and in the next page I have to call this. Okay, in the next page I have to call this, so I'll just go to location popup.tsx. Now here I'm gonna say that inside location popup.tsx, first of all I am actually sending one thing, that is this. Okay, first of all I'm sending this thing, right, and it's actually of type what. Here I'm going to define the type, so it's actually React state action type. You just have to define it this way, that's it. Okay, now let's try to check it first of all, and you can see I have to define use client also. So use client would be defined at the top. So now you would see, guys, use clients at the top. Okay, I think I have to do it in navbar also. I think inside navbar.tsx, yes, here also you have to use state. Fine, let's see. So you can see right now if I click on this, I want to make it true. I want to make set show location as true. So if I click on the text, you can see where is the text. You can see this is the text, right? So if I click on this, I'll just say set show location pop-up as true. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. That's how we can create the pop-up. Okay, so I'll just say that if I click on this, I'll just make the pop-up as true. So let's see how it works. So if I click on this, you can see I'm getting the pop-up. So now I have to design the pop-up, right? So let's go to the pop-up, and here again it would be having some style first of all. So let's give it a division of popup bg. Okay, popup bg. Now popup bg, inside this I'm gonna have a container. This container would be containing my select option tag. So first of all, I'm gonna create an array for storing cities, and a function would call all the cities. So I'm simply saying that these are some cities, and I'm just passing these cities to what? To my cities array. Okay, so it has some label and value. Each city has some label and value. You can call these cities from some API. I didn't get an API, so that's why I'm calling it this way. You're gonna pass these cities to here. Okay, so now I passed my cities. I'm gonna simply say one more thing. Whenever this page loads, just call set cities. Okay, just call set cities. Okay, that means get cities. I'm sorry. Whenever this page loads, just call get cities. That means automatically cities would be loaded into this array. I'm gonna say that a select option tag would be called, which would be simply styling according to the options. You can see select inside options. You can see first of all, first option would be this, which would be disabled initially. Then you can see I'm just mapping my cities according to the value, and this is the label. Okay, so now let's see, am I getting this? So you can see I'm getting the cities. Fine. Now one more thing is I'm gonna get the save button, and this button, once I click on this, I wanna close the pop-up. Okay, I wanna close the pop-up. So for that I've created this function. So let's call this function here, and it would actually close the pop-up. Okay, so now let's see. So you can see if I click on this, if I click on save, you can see it closes. Click on this, save. Okay, now I'm gonna design this. So for that I'll just go here and I'll just say pop-up CSS. Okay, or anywhere. I'm just gonna go outside inside the pop-ups folder. Let's create a file named as popup.css. Okay, so in popup.css, I'll just say outer container would be like this, and it would be having some background color. You can see some transparency also, so that dark background color, full page. In center I'm gonna show my select option. Okay, so you can see this is the container with 30 height 30. In center I'm gonna show my select option. You can see this is my select tag, some styling, and then the option tag, some styling. Then you can see at the end I have the button. Okay, so these are all the things which we have. So if I click on this, you can see right now the style isn't imported in pop-up, so I'm gonna import the style also. Style is actually imported from outside, so I'll just say dot dots popup.css. Okay, fine. So if I reload this, click here, so you can see this is the pop-up. If you select the city and click on save, it would be saved like this. Okay, right now I haven't applied the logic to save details, but that's how the pop-up would work. Later on you can design it and make it up to yourself. Okay, so these were all the things which I think I wanted to tell you in the front end part, and the front end is almost done. Just one basic thing is left actually. So if you for example, if you go to home page, and if you go to some movie book tickets, so you can see this is the first thing which we did today. Then click on select. You can see I created this component. Okay, the first thing is I want to fix this. Okay, so we'll fix this in the next video since there is no time now. So we're gonna fix this in next video, then we're gonna start working on the backend part. Okay, so guys, that's it for today, and I hope you understood this. And we're gonna complete this styling also. This styling is also remaining, and some style is also remaining, so we're gonna complete this in the next video, as well as we're gonna start with the backend part. So that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. First of all, let me just upload the source code, then after that we'll end this video. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the live chat. I'll just upload the source code. So I'll just type git add dot git commit m day 3 git push. Okay, so I've pushed. Okay, I think there is some problem. No configured push destination. Okay, all right, I have to check the push part, but yeah, later on I'll just push the code in a while. So where would you get the complete source code? So you have to simply visit my GitHub profile. What you have to do is you can simply visit my GitHub profile. You can simply type github.com/VIRAJJ014. This is my GitHub profile. Okay, you can just visit me, you can follow me here, and these are all my social handles. If you want to contact me, you can contact me here. Now in the repositories, you would find movie booking 3x, movie booking 3x backend. So these are the complete source code. You can check out the source code from here. Okay, today's source code would also be uploaded here. So guys, that's it for today. If you have any doubts, you can ask me here. On the next video, you can ask me there. Okay, so I will see you in the next one. We'll start from the backend part next video. Okay, bye bye.